going to help you up your game when it comes to Facebook and Instagram stories, and I've got an announcement. Let's get started. Greetings and salutations. I am Scojo Insta360. That's right, we are here today to talk about Facebook and Instagram stories on your Insta360 One R. But first, an announcement that has a little bit of a heavy heart here is that, as you may have noticed, I have not been putting out as much content as I normally do. It's because it has been busy as hell around here. For those of you who do follow my channel regularly, I used to be a TV weatherman. Hey everybody, meteorologist Scott Ellis in here for Durrell, and apparently I'm now getting courted by several TV stations to go back into it. Does that mean it's the end of my YouTube channel? Likely not, but it means that I will not have as much time going forward. We'll still keep going with it and all that stuff, so stay tuned. But I'm very, very busy at the moment and maybe moving to an entire another city. So if you see a lag in content, many apologies, but we will get back on it. Might be fun to do some new Scojo content in a new city. But let's get to Facebook and Instagram stories. Now, this is one of those things, I have to admit, I don't do a ton of this, but it's very popular. And basically what an Instagram story, or the most effective way to do it, is to shoot it in what they call 9:16 as opposed to 16:9. Now, that's basically the difference between this and this for your smartphone. And so basically it makes it long. You shoot it that way. It's a great little format. And there's a very simple way to get one of these up and loaded to your social media directly from the One R app very quickly. So here we are in the app, and I'm going to select a clip. And what it does is bring up a 360 version of the clip, which is close to what you want. It still looks like it's a 9:16, but what you want to do is cycle through the different sizes. You can have 1:1, which if I click on this button here, it'll give me 1:1. There's my 16:9. There's my 9:16. That's what a Facebook story and an Instagram story ultimately use. So now I'm going to click on that little camera button, and it puts me into viewfinder mode. Now, viewfinder mode is fantastic. Literally just edit seamlessly, no keyframing or anything, by going like this, or I guess in the case of a Facebook story, like this. And you take that little red button and you slide it to the right to have it go tiny planet. If you really want to get severe on the tiny planet, you look down. If you want to do reverse planet, you look up. So it's really one of the most revolutionary ways to edit 360 video. It makes it so much faster. The downside to it is some people, you don't get to have a render that's as high a quality as some, but you know, if you're just doing videos for fun to send out to your friends, you don't need the highest of quality. You just want it to look cool, maybe add some music. So let's break down exactly how we do this now that we're in viewfinder mode. Okay, so now I'm just kind of getting my bearings, trying to figure out exactly where I am. And as you can see the little red button there, I'm going to hold it down and I'll scroll it to the right and look down a little bit. So now I've got my tiny planet. And basically, I'm just going to kind of cut to the chase. This is a long video, so now I'm going to kind of swing things around. Now, what I'm doing is, at the same time as I'm swinging around with viewfinder mode, I'm also swinging the selfie stick, so you're kind of getting a double effect there. And then I'm going to kind of straighten it out. The tiny planet can get a little bit old, so you kind of bring it back around for a different perspective. And right about here, I'm starting to think maybe I might want to add some hyperlapses, but we've got to do that later, so we will continue with just getting the basis of our video. And then just to cut to the chase, here's me doing a reverse planet. We won't go through the whole video because I don't want to waste all of your time, but we've got my reverse planet. We're going to close it off with me saying hello, and now we've got our video. Okay, so now once it's done, I'm going to want to click on the button that is for editing, which is right here, a little square. Looks like it's got a piece of paper and a pen in it, but that's once I get scroll back to the beginning of the video so I can start this. Click on that button. Now it's going to give me an option. I'm going to click on edit, and now I'm into my different time frames. I like to shoot at about a 16 speed for a hyperlapse, but as you can see, there is a selection for that. And then you just scroll to the right, and that little red bar comes with it. So once you get to where you want to be, you just hit OK, and it'll do it. Now, take a look at that little thing there in the yellow in the corner. That's for motion blur. Please do keep that on. It looks so much cooler. And as you can see, I'm just kind of looking at a place within the video that might be cool to have everything speed up. So usually at the end of an action to get you to the next action or something like that, I'm going to add a little bit more of a 16 speed hyperlapse here until I get about to where I'm having my point of view. Let's see, right about here looks pretty good. Now you're looking over my shoulder. I'm going to continue now normal motion. Get it back to right about where I have another piece of action. Let's see, I've got my little tiny planet looking down. There we go. Let's scroll through that, speed it up a little bit. Basically, this is a way of kind of keeping it from getting boring, and I know I'm not succeeding completely at it, but you get the impression. So now I've got my hyperlapses. I'm going to do maybe one more at the end. Let's see. Let's get this lined up. There we go. Stretch it out. Again, I'm just scrolling to the right with this, and it's creating this bar. And then I click on that check mark on the right in order to say OK to save these changes. Let's see. Oh, see, there's another skier. I don't want to have him go by super fast. So what I'm going to do is move this up to right about there. We'll stop it so that when it turns, you see him in real time. So get a little bit more precise. There you go. Video's basically done. I'm going to click share, which is going to be that button in the upper right corner. Let's see. And it'll be export fixed frame. And now it begins to render. And as you can see, I can choose to render to Insta360, Facebook, YouTube, Messenger, lots of different social medias. You have a big choice. But what I like to do ultimately is to save it to my phone first and then share it elsewhere. So this is a method I wouldn't normally use just to render it straight to Facebook. I would render it to my phone and then I would put it out in the various things. That way you can get it into Facebook, you can get it in Instagram without any problems. So that's the quick and dirty. There's a lot more to it, but realistically, this is something you're just going to want to play around with yourself. You can do a lot with filters. You can be adding color, contrast, brightness, all that fun stuff. So a really super quick way to at least get your Facebook and Instagram stories out there. Send them to me if you can. And if I can get a couple of good ones, I'll show you, I'll show them on my next video. And I really want to thank everybody who's been tuning in thus far. Again, the YouTube channel is likely not going to go away, but I'm going to be very busy over the next couple of months. I'll likely be living in a different city and commuting back to my home city while I kind of flush this job out. And then we may move Skojo In360 to a whole nother city in Oregon where I live right now. So do stay tuned. If you like what you see, hit subscribe, hit the like button, share it with everybody, and ring the bell on the side because, you know, frankly, I love you. That is it for this quick edition of the Insta360 Community Podcast. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I am Skojo In360. Please join me in our exit dance.
Respect all the while. These are the life signs. Make galactic shine.